Hi everyone, today we're going to show you how we remove this foreign body and this earwax plug in our earwax removal video. So my name is Rhys Barber, I'm the audiologist here at Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. Two patients in this compilation video. Now you can see this first patient, very blocked up ear canal here. Patient with experiencing hearing loss, a little bit of sort of discomfort in the ear canal as well, which is not uncommon with wax. We've got a good grip with a standard size Zollner tube here on this first section of wax. You can see it's a little bit softer. Patient has been using some olive oil drops for about 4 or 5 days before they came into clinic today. And you can see we've got this very sort of sticky type wax at the entrance here. We're just clearing our way. We've got a little bit of dry skin just getting sucked into the machine there. Now, the keen-eyed amongst you will notice right smack in the middle of this ear canal, we've got this funny shaped little object here. You can see it looks quite flexible. And what I'm doing here is just clearing some of the wax off the surface of it, which gives me a good indication of where the edges to this particular object are. And you can see I've gone around the outside edge. We can get a more clearly defined look at that. So we're going to bring in the crocodile forceps at this point because this foreign body is actually the end of a hearing aid that's been stuck in this patient's ear canal. They didn't actually realize they'd lost it. And that, as strange as that sounds, sometimes that's quite common. As we pull a hearing aid out of the ear, sometimes the little dome can come off if we're a little bit rough with it and it can fall on the floor. So a patient probably wouldn't have noticed they'd done it. But you can see it is completely filled with wax, this, and it's just all around that outside edge. So this patient would have been really struggling with their hearing. If we take a look behind that, we can see some very mushy, some very wet wax sitting behind it, and that wax has been in there just for a little while, all collecting around the back of this dome here. So you can see a lot of very thin, softer wax material sitting down here. It's actually gone pretty deep as well. It's gone almost in front of the eardrum. So we're just clearing all this up. We're just tidying this up. The reason you'll see a little bit of movement to the camera, the patient was chatting to me about how he may have lost this dome inside his ear. That when a person's talking, their jaw, obviously your temporomandibular joint back here, is moving back and forth. And what that does to the outer part of the ear canal, it flexes the cartilage, which means the outer part of your ear canal moves a little bit. Now, where we're maintaining our bridge on the outside part of the patient's face, sometimes where their jaw is moving, it'll cause that sort of bridge just to move up and down a little bit, and that's what caused this slight vibration to the camera here. So you can see we've cleared quite a bit of this already now. We're just down to these last couple of very soft and sticky bits. We can actually see the eardrum really clearly there. It's right in the center of your view. So this patient's hearing fantastically well now. Your massive difference in their hearing, but we're just starting to sort of tidy up around the outside edge. This very soft and sticky and mushy wax that we've got here is quite common if it's been sitting behind sort of a foreign body or behind quite a hard blockage, because what you'll get sometimes is water passing beyond that blockage and just sitting behind it. And then when it does that, what you'll get is it softens all the wax at the back end. So you end up with this very sort of much softer, smushier kind of wax at the back. Unfortunately, in this case, it's kind of ended up a little, in a lot of the recess. It's down near the eardrum. It doesn't tend to come away very well because it's a little bit stickier and a bit softer. It's not like the bigger, harder chunks that we can grab hold of and pull out. These do tend to be a little bit more sticky and stuck to the side of the canal wall as well. Guys, I've got to apologize about the last video as well. The video editing gremlins were at play, unfortunately, in that one. I've edited lots of different, I usually edit 4 different versions of the video. 2 of the versions came out absolutely fine. All the vertical ones came out fine, but all the ones that came out horizontally, which is what you guys watch on YouTube, it missed about the last 3 minutes of the video for some reason. I can't for the life of me work out what happened there. I will try and go back. I tend to sort of delete the videos once I've uploaded them because I don't need them anymore usually. So I will try and recover that video. If I can and get the ending up, I promise I will. But I will be a little bit more fastidious in future. I'll just check it all the way through. I tend to sort of skim through it before I upload it. But I will check moving forwards as well. So apologies about that, guys. I actually took the video down after because nobody wants to watch a video which you've stuck through for 10 or 11 minutes and can't see the end. So yeah, apologies for that one again, guys. I will try and get it up for you. So you can see now I've put a little bit of olive oil oil in here, and the reason I've done that with this much softer wax, it tends to sort of come away and disappear up the tube a lot easier if you've got that little bit of olive oil in there as well, which is just sort of coating the wax, and then eventually then we'll coat the sort of inside of the tube, allowing it to all suck up really, really easily. But we're really getting there now. You can see, there we go, you can really see the eardrum. There's nothing on that drum anymore. So this is what it looked like to start with. You can't really see the dome, that little foreign body at that point, but this is what it looks like afterwards. You can see a very, very different, nice clear ear canal there. So this is the patient's other ear canal. We're going to hope we're not going to find anything hiding in here, but this does just look like wax to me. We can see a little gap just to the top left-hand corner, which is allowing us to see down to the eardrum there. But you can see that very soft and sticky type here again as we're pulling it, it's stretching out these kind of ribbons of wax that come away here. So we're just going to try and get this down. It's going to be adhering to that canal wall really, really well. So what we're going to need to do here is lift this from the canal wall to be able to get this out. So just a little bit more of a wiggle here. Let's try and get this section. There we go. Patient started talking to me again there. You can see because everything's started to move a little bit more. Personally, I don't ask my patients to be quiet as long as it's not really affecting my view. If I had a very narrow ear canal, it might be a little bit more problematic. But if it makes the patient feel that a little bit calmer and you know, they're happy, and a lot of time patients will have questions about what they see coming out of their ear, and they are going to ask those questions while you're doing it. So I really don't have a problem with it. But you can see now that eardrum looking very, very healthy there. So this is what it looked like on this side before we started this procedure. And this is what it looks like afterwards. You can see a big difference there. Now this is that little dome. So this is the little rubber tip, the end of a hearing aid that had come off. It's more unusual for it to come off. It does happen sometimes, but it's rare these days. But you can see it was completely filled with wax. So this patient wasn't going to hear a thing through this. So this is our second patient in the compilation. We can see a very messy looking ear canal here. It looks very wet at the entrance. Now, let's get a grip on this. Let's see if it is as wet as it looks, because sometimes it's a bit deceiving. That oil will pool on the surface and it gives it this impression it's very, very wet, and it's not. And that's exactly what's happened here. You can see as we lifted from the base of the canal, this has got a little bit more structure to it. We can see it, so it's not that mushy, squishy kind of wax that we had in the last patient's ears. This is a far more solid, far harder wax, which is great for us. We prefer this type of wax when we're doing our microsuction, which is why we only advise softening drops for a few days before you come in. Otherwise it over softens the wax and it becomes a little bit more difficult to remove. When you've got nice, big, harder chunks like this one, you'll see this starting to pull away. There you go. It means it comes out in much, much bigger pieces, which means it doesn't take as long. Patients, gets on really, really well with having it done. Then we've got a little bit of tidying up to do around the outside edge here. So there we go. Let's just start removing some of these little flaky pieces. Looks like there's a little bit of loose skin in there as well. So I'm just using the side of the Zollner tube. You'll see I'm not lifting. What I'm doing here is pushing down against the canal wall and drawing backwards. I tend to do that a lot with these sort of skin bits that raise up at the entrance to the canal, looking very, very healthy there. Because if you start lifting, it's a bit like if you get a pull of skin anywhere else in your body. If you start to pull, it kind of keeps going. Whereas if you drop over the back and scrape backwards, it does tend to clip it off across really easily. So we've got 1.5 centimeters, half an inch's worth of earwax plug there, guys. Well, as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. Apologies again about the last video. But always take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of your ears for me as well. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.